Greetings and welcome, my spooky friends. Today I have something very interesting to show you. Right here, I have a box that I believe belonged to my great-grandmother. My grandmother gave it to me, and me being me, of course, I decided to paint the outside black. It is still brown on the inside, but today I wanted to try and bring some new life into this, make it kind of vibrant or, lack of a better word, pretty to look at. Using the same methods I did for my guitar right here, using red stain and also black paint, I will be doing something similar to this. Hopefully you're seeing what I'm thinking of. It is a box with an image of a castle on it with a colorful background. If anyone can tell me where this image has come from, please let me know so I can give them full credit in the description and in the video. Alrighty, now that that's out of the way, come with me and let's get to work on turning this boring box into something beautiful. Alrighty, let's go.
Alrighty, here we go. The first step, of course, is to remove the hardware before sanding. In this case, it is just 2 hinges. Now, while I attempt to unhinge these hinges, I would like to talk to you guys about something. And that is whether or not my work is ethical or moral. This isn't really a heavy topic or debate or anything like that, but some people think that my work is disrespectful to the previous owner of whoever owned this piece of furniture, in this case, my great-grandmother. Now, normally I would ask permission if this belonged to someone else, or I wouldn't bother if I bought the item. But to me, this is just a box, and I'm pretty sure my great-grandmother wouldn't have no argument of me refinishing this and making it beautiful. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I use a thin piece of metal or scalpel to get underneath the rip of the hinge and I raise it. This lifts up the nail, which exposes it so I can get at it with a pair of pliers and I can basically pry off the nail. Try and be careful while doing this because in the process of this I'm pretty sure I cut myself. It was either on the scalpel or somehow on the hinge itself.
Now watch, I'm gonna get 1,000,000 subscribers now. I'm making a guide on how to become a successful YouTuber. Just make nonsensical, annoying as fuck loud noises. Okay, now it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty dirtiness. So, when you're removing paint or varnish or any type of material away from wooden furniture or wood itself, you have a couple options. You have either sanding or using paint thinner or paint stripper. Usually I would just sand any project what I do, but it depends on what you're doing. If you have a very ornate piece of furniture or something, you would want to strip it, because you do not want to ruin the nice detail in it. So, right now, I guess I'm gonna go with sanding. So, as you can see, I attempted to sand, but I came across a problem. That was, paint kept caking on my sandpaper, making it unusable. Now, this happens a lot with the type of paint I use, and so, instead of sanding down the box, I will be attempting to use paint stripper. And boy, am I using the expensive and corrosive stuff. For any paint stripper, or really anything, you want to be wearing gloves and safety glasses. Normally, me being the idiot I am, I don't really go to these extremes, except for maybe gloves if I don't want to get paint everywhere. But me with prior experience with this paint stripper, I know I should wear gloves and glasses, because trust me, this shit burns. So, first step, take your paint stripper and empty it out into a metal container of sorts. Now, using an old brush that you don't use for anything else, for example, I don't use this brush for painting or anything like that. This is solely used for stripping paint. Just take a huge glob of jelly and spread it evenly on the surface that you are trying to strip paint off of. Do not be afraid to put huge globs of paint stripper on there. The more you can fit onto a piece, the better it will work, as far as I know. I am no professional whatsoever, so I don't really know anything, and I'm just going with it. So after letting the paint stripper set for about 30 or so minutes, usually you leave it overnight, but me being impatient, I wanted to get this done as soon as I can. So, after letting it set, I took a paint scraper and started to scrape off as much of the paint I could. Now this was a huge mess. For as much as the paint I got off, it was just getting everywhere in a gunky, terrible mess. So in the end, I ended up getting the majority of the paint off, but then I decided to sand it down as much as I could again. Just going sandpaper after sandpaper after sandpaper, until eventually I got the last bit of paint off. And even then, I didn't need to get all of it because the majority of the box is going to be painted black. Alrighty, now it's time for my favorite part of this video, and that is staining the top part of my box with my favorite red stain. Alright, the first thing to do is to shake the jar as much as you can. For application, I usually use old t-shirts, or fresh new ones from, let's say, the dollar store. You can get for like $2. These work very well and are very absorbent. To put it simply, you just soak the shirt in stain and apply it to whatever it is you want to stain. Give it a nice big ribble coat and try and let it soak into the wood. Oh yes, just look how it drips onto the wood. It actually does look like blood, and as a spooky fellow, that's pretty cool to me. I just love seeing the transition from beige or, wood grain to just a soaking blood red. Now, after application, you want it to let it sit for about probably 30 minutes at most, 20 minutes at least. This way the stain absorbs into the wood as much as possible. After that's done, use a dry, clean t-shirt or towel and rub off the excess. Then, once that's over with, do it again. For me, I like my wood stains saturated, that way you get as much color in it as possible, without it being dull and too dark. So about 2 to 3 coats should do. When it comes to varnish and acrylics, you have a wide variety of options, but here are the main 3 that I like to use. For me, here is my main 3. For me, I like to use Rust-Oleum Crystal Clear Varnish, Krylon Triple Thick Clear Grays, geez that's a mouthful, and finally, polyurethane. For now, I will use the Krylon Triple Thick Lacquer. Now, with this sort of varnish, you want to lay it on thick, but not too thick. What I recommend is first doing a soft, thin coat, then lay it on thicker with sweeping motions. What you need to look out for is bits of white coming through. That is the lacquer that is laying on a bit too thick. Once you sprayed it on, you just have to lay it flat and let it rest for, I would say at most, or at least, 30 minutes. This is why I love this stain so much, because just look on how it shimmers, making the wood grain look like some sort of gemstone. Now, you don't necessarily need to do what I'm doing right here, which is I am using the polyurethane as well to further seal the wood and the stain with inside. With polyurethane, you want to use a fine brush. I've seen people use those foam brushes to apply polyurethane, but they come out more splotchy and inconsistent than an actual hairbrush. Once again, with any varnish, at least polyurethane and the Krylon stuff, you want to put on a sort of thick, ribble coat. After application, once again, I let it sit for about 30 or so minutes. Please do forgive me, I've forgotten to film the process of painting the rest of the body black. Now that the polyurethane has dried, it was time to start painting. Here I have a very well-made, incredible artistic design of a castle silhouetted against a blood-red fog with bats flying and the moon shining bright. To say it once again, this was inspired by this box I found on the internet. If you can tell me where this image comes from or who made it, please let me know so I can give them full credit. Here I have a little bit of paint from my local Dollar General. The colors I will be using are black, white, and some silver paint. Now, when you are a goth on a budget, you will get your paint from anywhere you can, and for me, that was Dollar General. So hopefully I can make this cheap paint and turn it into something beautiful. Now it is time to paint. Fair warning, I do not think I am a good artist or really good at freehanding when it comes to paint, but I think I did a pretty good job here. So please, enjoy this time lapse of me painting the castle against the blood red fog. Last step is to attach the hinges. I am just using simple pliers to achieve this.
Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you found this video both informative and entertaining. For next time, I think I will do a more large-scale piece of furniture. So far I've been doing small projects, so maybe this time I'll do something big. Another idea I had for a video is perhaps do some sort of product review, or something along those lines. Recently I got some clothes from the site called Punk Rave and Phantasmagoria. And perhaps I could do an honest review on the quality of materials and how they look. I think that would be very entertaining and fun to do. But anyway, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Stay spooky.
Thank you for watching. Please do me a favor to help build my channel and like, comment, subscribe. And if you can, please share my work. I would love to grow my channel more and further engage in it. Special thank you to Eilish Pickett for the artwork involved in this video and all my other videos. She is a talented artist, so please subscribe to her down below.